All right, and we're back. It's February 1st. You know what that means? We've completed dry January. Cheers, guys. Cheers to anyone else who is doing dry Jan. Happy Monday, Kelsey. Good to have you back. As always. How's everyone feeling? Did anyone set any January goals? Feeling good? Feeling like you've accomplished? Thank you very much. Very happy under dry January. I'm going to stay. Thank you. Good to have you all in. Oh boy, what a week for the stock market, eh? I had never given a shit about the stock market before in my life, but now it's entertaining. Make a reality show about it. I think we've got some new teams in this week. Welcome, guys. Good to have you as well, joining our regulars. A nice mix of old and new faces. It should be a fun evening. So for those of us who haven't played with us before, you play along by entering the answers in a form in another tab or on another device. So I'll read out the questions, you fill in the answers there. Your answers are not locked in until you hit submit at the end of each round. So 5 questions each round. If you're not sure about question 1, and I've gone on to question 2, you can go on to question 2 and go back at the end. And yeah, you change your answers or fill in your answers after I finished, and you don't have to worry about it until you hit submit at the end. If there's picture rounds, sometimes it will ask you also to enter a captcha before you can hit submit. But that's the only thing to be aware of there. See more activity in the chat. You've missed a couple of weeks, Liz. This haircut's old news to the regulars. But thank you for noticing. Yeah, I like it as well. It was getting a bit unruly before. No, that was not producer Jessica. She gave it a go during the first lockdown. I was fine with it. She wasn't very happy about it. But no, barbers are open here in Bucharest at the moment. So, I mean, we've been out and been in a restaurant today. Like people inside restaurants now at 30% capacity. We were like the only people in there. I don't think if it had been at 30%, we might have thought twice about going in, but it was empty when we got there. All right, but yeah, let's have a look at the rounds we've got coming up. Without any further ado, that's enough natter. So round 1, as usual, we'll be beginning with some general knowledge. Round 2, Flaming Moe's. Oh, animated round cards. Yeah, Jessica's always got new tricks up her sleeve. Round 3, Stan, Jan, and Kazam. Round 4, hand solos. It's not as dirty as it sounds. Round 5, 5 days in Denmark. Round 6 is Guess the Dress. Round 7, Order in the Sport. This week we've got kind of a special Black History Month edition of Order in the Sport. And closing out with round 8, General Knowledge. Look at that cute little puppy. Isn't he cute? All right, so I think we can get started. If you haven't entered your team names now, get them in. Probably should mention that for the new teams as well. Each round it will ask you to enter your team name, so stick with the same team name throughout. That way we can keep track of your scores. If you change team name halfway through, you might end up splitting your scores between 2 different teams, and neither team will do that well. So yes, choose one, stick with it throughout. But get those in now so that we can get the scoreboard preloaded. You can get it done as we start going through the questions for round one. So starting with some general knowledge, and question one is topical. So in a tweet sent after he failed to receive an expected pardon from outgoing President Donald Trump, Joe Exotic attributed the decision to the fact that he was too blank and too gay. So what was blank? Is it crazy, innocent, famous, or powerful? So why did Joe Exotic think that Donald Trump didn't pardon him? Too crazy and too gay, too innocent and too gay, too famous and too gay, or too powerful and too gay? All right, question two. The UN ambassador for North Korea recently issued a criticism of human rights abuses in which country? So was that South Korea, China, the USA, or Australia? So this was just the other day. Next was question three. On Thursday, we saw the first full moon of 2020. What is the first full moon of the year called? Is that the wolf moon, the frost moon, the button moon, or the onion moon? And this is the kind of popular naming system that's become a lot more popular in recent years, derived, I think it's kind of like loosely derived from Native American names for the different moons. Question four. Why did pro gamer Thomas Zuma Paparazzo announce his retirement at the age of 25 earlier this month? Let's see the options there. Was it that he said a bunch of slurs on stream? Did he have a career-ending thumb injury? Is he going to college to study game design? Or did he just retire because he's already extremely rich? Anyone else experiencing this buffering? We are using some new stuff in the stream this week, so that it might be because of that. So if other people are also experiencing that, just let us know and we'll adjust it for next week. And question five, what was the price of a share of GME stock, that's the GameStop stocks, as of 7:30 p.m. GMT? So that's half an hour before the start of this stream. So about 39 minutes ago, what was the price of a single share of GameStop stock? Was it $14, $101, $243, or $975? That's US dollars. Okay, good to know. All right, so yeah, get those answers in on your pad. Pretty nuts, all this this GameStop stuff. All the retro stocks, BlackBerry, Nokia, movie theaters, things that no one needs anymore, really. It's fun. I mean, if it bankrupts a few hedge funds, I'm fine with it. So I'm just going to quickly read through the questions without the answers one more time, in case anyone's joined us late, or in case anyone didn't hear any of those. Question one was, why did Joe Exotic claim Donald Trump didn't pardon him? He was too blank and too gay. Choose from one of those four. Question 2, which country did North Korea recently criticize the human rights records of? Question 3, what was the name of the first full moon of the year? So the moons have different names, so choose one of those. Question 4, why did pro gamer Thomas Zuma Paparazzo announce his retirement earlier this month? Oh, I guess last month, first day of the month. And question 5, what was the price of a single share of GameStop stock as of about 40 minutes ago? So I think if you're having problems with question 5, we did just enter that just now because we wanted to keep it up to the minute. So when you say you've got different options, you're seeing something. Shane, you might have been in early, so you might be seeing the pre-edited version. So you might have to refresh because we just had a placeholder question in there until we could find out what it is. So if you hit refresh, you should get the one with the actual options in instead of just the placeholder. So yeah, in case anyone else also had the placeholder options there, just hit refresh and you'll see the actual options. But we like to bring you up to the minute information, so we really waited until the last second to enter that question into the form. So I think we're just waiting on one team now. I assume that's probably the team that had to refresh. So we'll just give them a second. And then we'll be able to run through the answers. And did anyone here buy any stock? GameStop or otherwise? Dogecoin went up pretty drastically. There's some other crypto as well. I can't remember what it's called. My brother was messaging me about it. I think everyone's in now, so we'll run through the answers. So first up, Joe Exotic claims he was too innocent and too gay to receive a pardon from Donald Trump. Apparently, Exotic and his team were so confident in receiving a last-minute pardon that a stretch Dodge limo was parked outside the prison waiting for him. So innocent was the answer there. Well, yeah, it's good that you're eager, you're there and ready and waiting early. We normally, obviously, are not updating questions at that last minute, but due to the nature of the subject, we left that one till the last second. All right, question 2. North Korea joined several countries in questioning Australia's human rights record regarding immigration. Then question 3, the first full moon of the year is the wolf moon. In some other traditions, it's sometimes called the old moon or the ice moon, which is similar, not the same as the frost moon option. So wolf moon was the option there. Question 3. No, that was question 3. Question 4. Former New York subliner Zuma, so that was his team, the Subliners, retired from competitive Call of Duty after thumb surgery left him unable to easily compete at the sub level. So it was a career-ending thumb injury. And then as of about 44 minutes ago, a single share of GameStop stock was $243 to the nearest dollar. So not its peak for the day. It peaked at like over 300 earlier in the day when I was writing that question earlier. So it did drop a little before we wrote that, but still a lot more than it was a week ago. So we're going to have a look. Oh, why have I gone out of focus? There we go. We're going to have a look at the scoreboard. It's a bit smaller than usual. There we go. A bit bigger than usual. And my friend is Prego in first place with 4 points. Congratulations for your friend, and congratulations for coming first in the first round. And we've got 3 teams on 3 points each. Capante, sorry. Getting my Gallagher messed up there. Cat Flaps and the Chapstags all tied. Rob and Lou on 2. The Van Goghs and Moody's on 1. And Alexandre Dumas on none. Van Gogh's off to an uncharacteristic slow start. Usually one of the favorites. So an opportunity there. But so far, it's my friend is Prego out in front. Congratulations there. And we'll see how that lead holds up after this second round. Okay, so round 2, Flaming Moe's. In this round, we're going to see a bunch of fictional cocktails. So we've done these, we've done rounds similar to this before, where we show you the ingredients of a cocktail, and you have to match it. The difference is all of these are fictional cocktails. So when in the drop-down menu, you'll have 5 different sets of ingredients, cocktail ingredients, and then I will give you the names and like the movie or TV show or whatever. I think they're all from TV shows. Oh no, one's from a book that they show up in. So let's see the first one. So first I'll read through the lists of ingredients. So in your drop down, your order will be randomized, but you'll see in whatever order, red wine, tonic water, and olives is one of the cocktails. Gin, vodka, and Kina Lillet is one of them. Scotch, absinthe, rum, gin, vermouth, triple sec, and 2 packs of Splendor is one of them. Grain alcohol, the Gatorade is one of them, and orange juice, peach schnapps, and moonshine is one. So, question 1, which one of those is the Horatio Cornblower from Archer? So which of those lists of ingredients is in a Horatio Cornblower from the television show Archer? All right, next up, the Vesper from Casino Royale. So one of those lists of components makes a Vesper from the novel Casino Royale. Number 3, Riot Juice from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What goes into Riot Juice? After that, we've got number 4, an Old Spanish from 30 Rock. How do you make an Old Spanish? And finally, a One of Everything from the US version of The Office. What makes a one of everything? So you just match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the different. You've got the different list of ingredients. You match them to which one was which cocktail. So if you need reminding of what number was what cocktail name and the TV show, they should be scrolling beside me. What fictional drink would you most want to get just absolutely wasted on? Because I reckon the blue fluid from MaxiPad adverts would get you langers. Just a Tide Pod shot and blue fluid chaser. You know that stuff's good. Or Skittlebrow from The Simpsons, which, as far as I know, is basically what those Bud Light seltzers are. So make those choices, hit submit. Yeah, we figured we'd celebrate the end of Dry Jan with a bit of a boozy round. Just trying to make sure I'm in focus. The problem with autofocus is sometimes it thinks it's seen something in a different part of its field of view. What else is what Tubby Custard? Do you reckon that's alcoholic from Teletubbies? Tubby Toast definitely always seemed like a reference to ecstasy, right? Just a little round, got a smiley face on it. So what was Tubby Custard supposed to be all about? I think we're just waiting on 2 more teams now, guys. So get those answers in. We'll see if my friend is Prego have kept their lead. And we have some scrolling headlines for when teams need a little bit of extra thinking time. Is that me? I don't think so. I wouldn't eat the world's hottest chili pepper. Okay, so everyone's in. You only get 1 scrolling headline. Okay, let's have a look at the answers first. So first up was the Horatio Cornblower. It's a play on a fuzzy navel. The addition of moonshine, which is made from corn, is part of the convoluted path to the name of this drink. So the full ingredient list: orange juice, peach schnapps, and moonshine. That's a Horatio Cornblower. Next up was the Vesper from Casino Royale. So that's one of those drinks that starts off fictional and is now just an actual drink. It's not too far removed from Bond's iconic vodka martini. Splits the difference by including both vodka and gin for when you can't choose what type of martini you want. And replaces the vermouth with the no longer produced Quina Lillet. Nowadays, you'd have to make the drink with Lillet Blanc. Some mixologists use different combinations of aperitifs that they think would better replicate the flavor of the Quina. Number 3 was Riot Juice. So when the gang go to watch the Phillies play in the 2009 World Series, yes, Always Sunny is that old. They plan to brave the Philadelphia autumn shirtless by getting fucked up on grain alcohol and blue Gatorade, which is pretty much how I imagine blue fluid from MaxiPad adverts being. Then we have question 4 was the Old Spanish. Yeah, so when Jack Donaghy in 30 Rock takes a job in the Bush administration, yes, 30 Rock is also that old. One of his co-workers is the bumbling and incompetent Kuta Berger. In one scene, he mixes himself an Old Spanish from red wine, tonic water, and olives. And finally, Michael Scott mixes up one of everything for Meredith at the Dunder Mifflin Christmas party. As the name suggests, it has one of just about everything, but 2 packs of Splendor. Okay, so let's see how everyone did on this round. See, one of our regular teams says, don't know general knowledge, but we know alcohol, so things might have shifted now. My friend is Prego, still in the lead, 9 points. A perfect round there. A lot of strong showings on this round. Cat Flaps in second on 8. Van Gogh's Kapan Te. Sorry, I'm messing up that right. All night. I've end of Dry Jan, so you know that's going to be messed up. The Moody's and the Chapstags all tied in 3rd place on 6 points. And then bring up the lead, Robin Liu and Alexandra Dumas, only 1 point back on 5. So it's all very, very close together, very tight pack at the moment. That's what I like to see in the early stages. Everyone with a few points of each other keeps things exciting. And we'll move on to round 3, see if the field will break open on this round. So this is Stan, Jan, and Shazam. This references kind of 2 of the most famous iterations of the Mandela effect. So Stan and Jan, that references Stan and Jan Berenstain, the creators of the Berenstain Bears. Kazam was the movie starring the Genie movie with Shaq in it. Both of these like the most commonly cited examples of the Mandela effect, where people misremember how Berenstain is spelled, or that Kazam was actually called Shazam and starred Sinbad instead of Shaq. So yeah, the Mandela effect, it's kind of weird, like kind of shared false memories. Some people think that it's like because of parallel universes merging. I think it's probably more to do with that people just misremember things in similar ways because they're similar to other things. You know, there's Shazam is already a kind of pop culture thing, so you might misremember a movie called Kazam as Shazam. You know, it's not, you don't have to believe in parallel universes to see how that could happen. In this round, we're going to show you 2 pictures for each question. One of them is the real thing, and one of them is the common Mandela effect version of that thing, the collective false memory that a lot of people think that thing is like. So you just have to choose the real version. So you choose the one that really exists, not the Mandela version. So let's see the first pair of images. Oh yeah, be careful with this one because the nature of this means the 2 images are very similar, pretty subtle differences, and our form will randomize which one's on the left, which one's on the right. So don't just assume it's the same as on the screen. Check before you click, or else you might not enter the answer you thought you did. But let's see the first pair of images. So it's the Fruit of the Loom logo, popular t-shirt company. The difference there, does it include that cornucopia or not? So you just need to choose which of those is the real Fruit of the Loom logo. All right, number 2, the next pair of images. Looney Tunes. How is Looney Tunes actually spelled? Which of those is the real Looney Tunes logo and spelling? Okay, the next pair of images. It's C-3PO. What does C-3PO look like in the original trilogy? We're not talking prequels, we're not talking sequels, we're talking OT. And the difference between those 2 images, as you can, if in case you can't see it, in one of them, his lower right leg is silver. In one of them, he's gold all over. Which of those is how C-3PO looks in the original 3 movies? All right, next we've got Rich Uncle Pennybags. He's the Monopoly mascot. Difference between the 2 images there. Does he wear a monocle or not? And the final Mandela effect pair is the Flintstones. Is it written with 1 T or 2? So how many T's in the spelling of the Flintstones as it appears in the cartoon? So 50-50 choices all around. Because it's clicking on an image, you might have to do a capture at the end. Anyone need it? No, you won't need to see them again because they're in the form, but they're popping up on screen now anyway, just in case. Any of you ever had any Mandela effect moments that we didn't mention? I always thought that the name was pretty weird because it got its name because a bunch of people misremembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison, which for I think maybe it's just an age thing, but I couldn't see how that would happen because for me, my main thought of Nelson Mandela growing up was as the president of South Africa. So, you know, he was a world leader before, like in my mind, before thinking of him as like a political prisoner. But like, even if you are of an age where you first became aware of him as a political prisoner, like you'd think the his like long tenure as one of the most prominent politicians in the world would make some kind of impression. But like, that's just how these, like a lot of these, they like people really get these ingrained. I definitely some of them been like, oh yeah, which way is it? But normally we're just like, you know, chocolate bar logos and stuff. But it's pretty weird. All right, so let's get those submitted. I think we're just waiting on one more team. All right. So our scrolling headlines: Haggis launched to the edge of space. Go a bit further. Go all the way out there. Launch it. Put Haggis on the moon. If elected president, I pledge to put Haggis on the moon. Yeah, like so. That's the thing. The Berenstain Bears thing. It's very easy to see how that became a Mandela effect because you just expect it to be spelled like other names that end in Stein or Steen. But no, it's like based on that's how they actually spell it. Like it's the names of the authors as well. They didn't reach very far to find names for the characters. Yeah, I don't know. We're a wild household, so I wouldn't know anything about any Detroit Red Wings Monopoly games. So just the one team left. Remember, you need to after you've done the capture, you have to hit submit. So you don't need to. It's not just do the capture. You then will get the submit button after that. In case I think it's the Chapstag team. Okay, I think everyone's in now. I think maybe that little reminder was needed. So let's run through the answers. So first up, there is no cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo. So a big advantage to anyone who happens to be wearing one of the t-shirts. That one might have gotten me. Yeah, that one might have gotten me because it looks like there should be cornucopia on there, right? I think we'll get maybe the correct images up on screen just so you can see what we mean. So correct image there, no cornucopia there. But it kind of looks like it should have one, right? Then number 2. Looney Tunes. It's tunes with a UE, like music. You know, merry melodies. The whole thing when they started was that it was all to music, to like classical music and stuff. Then we had number 3. We've got C3PO with a silver leg. I think this is the one that definitely would have gotten me. I fully remembered him just being as gold all over. Again, it's the one where you can see how this gets Mandela affected. It's a pretty small detail. And you just expect the gold robot to be gold all over. And it's not like a drastically different color or anything. All right, and we've got number 4. Rich Uncle Pennybags, no monocle. I think the common false memory of him wearing a monocle probably comes from a mascot that we featured in last week's trivia, Mr. Peanut, the Planters Peanut. He wears a top hat and monocle. So people just confusing the rich caricature mascots. And then the last one, number 5. Yeah, the Flintstones, you know, Flint and Stone. Like, it makes sense, but it does kind of look weird having those two big T's. Like, I don't know why they chose to make both of them big. Is it supposed to look like Stonehenge, maybe? I am not aware of the C-3PO with an erection trading card. That's new to me, but that might make it into a future lanyard. All right, so I think we're just double checking someone's submissions, but we'll have a provisional. These are provisional scores that we're going to see now, in case they do need double checking. Let's see how they were auto scored at least. Chert. I assume this is a geology joke that I'm too marine biology to understand. Okay, so still in the lead, my friend is Prego, and Cat Flaps still in second place. So a real tight race between these two. Then Capante, Robin Liu, Alexandra Dumas, and the Chapstags all tied in third place on 9 points, so 4 points back. So the top two really kind of getting out in front. And then the Moody's and the Van Goghs very, very close behind the peloton. These are all subject to change. Just going to double check people's scores, just in case some of them got sometimes with these matching rounds, the auto scorer might get something wrong, but we'll double check that during the interval and let you know if anything changes. But so far, as things stand, top two starting to break away from the pack a little bit, and then the rest of the pack, everyone else within 2 points of each other. So everything to play for there. And of course, 4 points, it can be made up in a single round. Talking of a single round, let's have a look at the next round. And talking about making up 4 points in a round, it's a 10-point round. Oh, we love a 10-point round. It can really mix things up. It's our music round of the evening, hand solos. In this round, we found the solos from various very famous classic rock songs. Not all classic rock. Some of them are maybe 90s alternative. But they have been played on a different instrument. So we've got the solos. They've been played on a different instrument. We will credit the... oh, yeah. So it's, I mean, I'm going to try not to get distracted by what's happening in the chat. So we're going to credit the YouTubers who play these interesting instruments so well. You might learn about some new instruments. One of them is just piano, but the rest of them are some world instruments. You have to give us the name of the song and the name of the original artist. So there's 1 point for each of those pieces of information. So that's up to 10 points for this round. Just type in your answers. So there will be little videos in your answer forms where you can re-listen to these. So often with these music rounds, you need a second listen. If you were actually in the pub at Pub Trivia, you might ask them, can you play that one again? But here, we're just going to give you a little interval after this round where you can play the clips again just to try and figure out what the songs are. But let's listen to the first one. And on this one, I believe our instrument is an angklung. It's a kind of Indonesian reed xylophone that vibrates. So give us the artist and the song of the original version of that song. That was the solo from that song being played on an angklung. No idea if I'm pronouncing that right. My Bahasa is a little rusty. Let's hear the second one, which will be played on a gayagum. I should be better at pronouncing Korean, but I'm not. It's like a Korean zither, like a kind of Korean harp type instrument. Let's listen to the solo. All right, so artist and song title for that. Next up, we're going to hear from Kanun. It's like Arabic, also kind of like a zither, like a plucked string instrument. All right, so once again, original artist and song title for that one. Next up, we have the kalimba, kind of thumb-plucked, steel-keyed hand instrument from West Africa. All right, so from which song is that solo originally? Once again, 2 points for artist and song title, original artist. And last one, the most familiar instrument. It's from an electric keyboard, or like kind of a high-end one. You might call it an electric piano. So it kind of just sounds like a piano. And let's hear the clip. All right, so we've heard them all once. If you need to hear them again, they are in the form. But we're going to give you a few minutes to listen to those, think about them. Also with these ones, we got to type them in. Sometimes that takes a little bit longer than just choosing something. So the first minute or so of the interval, we're going to leave silent for you guys to work, and then we'll put up a little intermission video. So I'll see you again in a couple of minutes. All right. How's everyone doing? Who doesn't love a nice crab video? I'm a big crab fan. Got my crab tats. Crabs. Yes. Normally, Jessica puts together the interval videos, and she did this week as well. But this week she asked for my input, and I said, put crabs in it. There's a reason everything evolves into crabs eventually. They're just great. Aren't they? Who doesn't love a crab? They're cute. They taste great. So that's the interval done. So let's get those guesses in. You've had a good bit of thinking time, a good bit of typing time, and with these ones especially. A beer walk in Amsterdam next Saturday. Just a stroll with a stop for 3 bars, free show at the end. Perfect weekend activity. I mean, Amsterdam's a lovely city for walking as well. Very pretty. Lots of nice outdoor bars. I think we're just waiting on one team now, guys. Lovely canals. I mean, obviously, probably a bit cold still for for a beer walk, but yeah, anything to get out in the, we've been cooped up. We're all going mad, aren't we? Lots of nice beers from Amsterdam as well. Okay, I think everyone's in. These typing in the answer rounds, because especially in these ones where you know what bands are like, they never want to spell their names the normal way. So there's a lot of room for potential slight misspellings, which were not so harsh to deny you the point for a slight misspelling of a band name. But it does mean Jessica will have to double check the answers. But I will go through the answers now. First one we heard was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Very, very well-known song. I think all of these, they're all very well-known songs, but hearing them in a different instrument and, just the out-of-context clip, I think, can make it harder than you'd expect. Obviously, when I was writing it, I was like, oh, this is going to be way too easy. But I think it's easy when you've chosen the songs. Let's see the next one. It was While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. I don't know what people wrote, but I would have also given a point for Eric Clapton for this, just because he played guitar on it, so technically his solo. Then next we had Hotel California by the Eagles. Probably the most straightforwardly recognizable one because canon sounds quite similar to an acoustic guitar. We also accepted George Harrison because he wrote the song. Then we had Zombie by the Cranberries. Much chiller version when played on the kalimba. Kind of lullaby-ish. I mean, everything played on the kalimba sounds kind of lullaby-ish. And finally, you can't have a solos round without Freebirds. So I'm sure we accepted a lot of alternate spellings of Lynyrd Skynyrd because, it's an insanely spelled name. But yeah, Freebird, you gotta have it. One of probably the most iconic solos ever. And let's see if we have an update on the scoreboard. And we do. All right. Wow. Whoa. Great job there. My friend is Prego. Commanding lead. Robin Lou. Alexandra Demar. What a comeback story from Alexandra Demar. Cat Flaps and the Chapstags all tied in second place, a four-way tie for second, but 5 points back, a full round back from My Friend is Prego. My Friend is Prego, they really know their music. Preggers, sorry, yeah. Thank you for alerting me to that. And then Van Goghs and Capante tied in third place on 15 points, and Moody's just behind on 12. But great performance so far from My Friend is Preggers. And this four-way tie right behind him, very exciting as well. So our first round after the break is round 5 days in Denmark. The name of this round refers to kind of, subtle ways, coded ways that people working in different industries might talk around customers, around members of the public without people understanding what they're saying. So cabin crew on airplanes might refer to a difficult or an attractive passenger in seat 5D by saying, I'm going to spend 5 days in Denmark, or, adjust number of days and country according to seat. So we've gotten 5 examples of this from 5 different industries, and you're going to guess what these little coded sayings might mean. All right, so first up, we've got from hospitals, paging Dr. Leo. So these hospital codes can vary from region to region or even hospital to hospital. This one is widespread, but not like official. Did I say not common in what I wrote? Not official, not standard. Yeah, but I think it is quite common, but not standard. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but paging Dr. Leo. What does it mean in a hospital? Does it mean, so you'll hear this like over the announcer? Do they need police or security? Has someone gone into cardiac arrest, or is there an animal bite or mauling that needs treating? Then question 2. This one's from Disneyland. White powder alert. So if you hear an announcement about white powder alert, or you hear staff members alerting each other to a white powder alert at Disneyland, are they talking about a guest being caught with narcotics? Are they talking about a fire extinguisher being activated? Or are they talking about a guest spreading the ashes of a loved one? Then next up, we've got number 3 from the London Underground, Inspector Sands. So if you hear an announcement calling for Inspector Sands, can Inspector Sands report to whichever room? Is that about a fire? Is it about a missing child? Or does it mean that somebody has committed suicide by train? On the London Underground, Inspector Sands, a fire, a missing child, or a suicide by train. All right, then number 4 is from cruise ships, Starlight or Rising Star. Both of these have the same meaning and they're closely related enough that I decided to just go with both. And does it refer to crew overboard? Does it refer to a passenger death? Or does it refer to a generator failure? So if you hear Starlight or Rising Star mentioned on board a cruise ship, is that crew overboard, passenger death, or generator failure? And finally, last one is like IT, tech support, a layer 8 issue. So if they say a problem has been caused by a layer 8 issue, does that mean user error? Does it mean that the machine has grandma levels of malware? Or does it mean that it's not plugged in? So is it user error? Does the machine have grandma levels of malware, or is it just not plugged in? Might have to accept an offer of a beer tour of Amsterdam if travel ever becomes possible again. I do find codes like this in workplaces kind of interesting because they're kind of almost self-defeating by nature. They're the kind of thing that people like to like learn about, turn into fun facts. People like to make them into rounds on the pub trivia live stream, stuff like that. So eventually, everyone knows what they mean, and they don't work as intended anymore. But hopefully, these ones are still secret enough that they give you guys a bit of a challenge. Some of them are definitely more workoutable than others. So like if you don't already know them, you can still kind of like work them out based like process of elimination or just thinking about how they've coded them, how they arrived at that code name. Some of them just seem kind of random, but some of them you can kind of see like, oh, I see what they were doing there. Does anyone here work in an industry that has similar kind of code talk? Most of my jobs haven't really had that. You know, most of the last decade I've been a teacher, and you kind of like just want you like when I'm just talking to other teachers, there ain't students around, and when I'm talking to kids, I really just want them to understand me. I really don't need to like make myself harder to understand. And before that, like working on the buildings, there's not really any reason to kind of disguise what you're saying. But stuff where it's like public facing, pub quiz code speak. Well, no, I don't think so. I have other methods of communicating with Jessica without you guys knowing. Well, you do know because you can hear me typing. That's our secret communication method. Oh, high divorce rate for barn owls. Just because learning Morse code, there was actually a period of time back when we lived in Korea that Jessica was teaching me ASL, so we might pick that up again. Yeah, sometimes I kick the camera to communicate that I put the camera in the wrong place. Yeah, our rationale behind learning ASL was that we could communicate in social situations or like noisy bars, but that doesn't really exist anymore. I'm trying to see what I remember. I know that there's like hot dog and like hot dog. Is this hot dog? And there's yeah, I don't know. There's a few of them. Whale. I remember whale and dolphin. Buffalo. And something about getting more drinks where I do this. I know that sometimes I would do this and Jessica would bring me a beer. So I remember that one. Well, veto lies and where apes. Just one more team to come in, so hit submit if that's you. Don't forget to, after you've selected your answer for number 5, hit that submit button as well. Naughty raccoons. We've got adulterous owls, lying apes, thieving raccoons. Okay, come on, final team. Let's get those in. Or we'll. It's going to be time to stick up the 30-second timer. You know, don't make me tap the timer sign. Once that runs out, it'll be a 0 on the round. All right. Kane, I think it's you, in case you're not aware that you haven't hit submit. Or maybe you're having internet problems. Maybe you hit submit and it hasn't come through yet. But we do have to move on. So let's run through the answers first of all. So Dr. Leo is frequently used to notify doctors and nurses of a cardiac arrest. So the way they came up with this isn't really known. An interesting theory that I saw put forward while I was writing this round is that LEO can mean law enforcement officer, and law enforcement officers arrest people. Cardiac arrest. There you go. Then we have white powder alert in Disneyland. That lets workers know that somebody has just been scattered over the happiest final resting place on Earth. Then we have number 3, pretty well known in London. Inspector Sands, it means there's a fire somewhere in the station. So sand was often used to extinguish fires, so it kind of makes sense. Also, I think sometimes like cinemas and department stores will also use Mr. Sand for the same reason. Okay, Shane has submitted, so we'll just check that we've received them. Okay, then we've got number 4, varies by the cruise ship company, but Starlight and Rising Star are both used to refer to the death of a passenger. So, you know, old people love cruises. Cruise ships are basically massive disease-ridden death traps with thousands of fragile old people on them. So this one probably gets used quite a lot. Okay, we got your answers. I think you got in. All right, and then the last one was a layer 8 issue. So the OSI model conceptualizes computing systems in 7 layers, from the physical components of the hardware up to like UX, like what the user sees and interacts with. Layer 8 is the user themselves. So a layer 8 issue would be a user error. Yes, last team did get in under the wire. Fantastic. So that means we can see the scores. And my friend is Preggers continuing the run of dominance. 26 points out in the lead. The Chapstags in second, 21. And Robin Liu, Alexandra DeMar, and Cat Flaps tied on 19. Capante on 17, the Van Goghs on 16, and Moody's on 14. So still pretty close, everyone, apart from my friend is Preggers, who are way out ahead. So well done to my friend is Preggers. Double reason to celebrate in that house so far. Still 3 rounds to play, so don't pop that champagne just yet. And our next round is Guess the Dress. We'll be showing you. We're going to show you some 5 red carpet looks, and you have to guess which famous figure is wearing each. They're all quite famous red carpet looks that you got to guess who is in each one. So can you remember from the clothes alone? So we've obscured faces. So I guess from the build and bodies, you could probably guess as well. All right, let's have a look at the first one. Okay, who's that? So this is another just type your answer in one. Oh, everyone has an off week now and again, Kelsey. Quite a risque dress there. Got a lot of publicity at the time. All right, next one. All right, we've got a couple here. So, who's wearing those Canadian tuxedos? A lot of denim. All right, next one. Probably one of the most well-known red carpet looks ever. The swan dress, but who wore it? Can you remember? All right, next up. Oh. So we've got someone carrying a head. So who's the person? Who's the head? And do we have one more? We do have one more. It's not a hint. I think that last one should have been question 5. We're going to bring up the picture of question 4 now. So hold on a second. No, just Canadian tuxedo. That's what people call like wearing a whole outfit out of denim, right? It's kind of a slang term. I'm just going to. Yeah. So just hold on a second while we bring up one more picture. It will be with us in a moment. So the person with a head under their arm, that was actually question 5. Oh, the pictures are in the form. I've been informed that the pictures are in the form, so don't worry about it. You can see it, but we just wouldn't be able to get up on stream. Those just didn't get loaded into the stream. But you can see the pictures, so you know what they look like, and you can guess who each person is. Okay, that's the missing image. Just got working wonders under pressure. Thank you very much, Jessica. So this one spawned some memes. I think this one's question 4. Thank you, Manda. All right, so get those answers in. Yeah, you've got the pictures in the form, so you can see who's who. You just need to type in the name of who it is that we've blocked out the face of, based on the famous red carpet look. All fashion icons. Tour 1. I probably could have done this whole round with Lady Gaga looks. She's had so many. You know, everyone thinks of the meat dress, but there was the Kermit the Frog dress. That was a good one. And many more besides, although they're not quite as snappy. I think Cardi B's kind of stepped into that role of the last couple of years with very out there looks just at pretty much every event. But I'm not really the best informed on fashion. So once you have all those answers typed in, hit submit. There was the Trey Parker and Matt Stone at one of, I think it was on Oscars, where they wore famous red carpet looks of other people, including question 1 from this round. They wore that dress and they wore that pink Gwyneth Paltrow dress. There's 2 of them, so they've got 2 dresses. That's how they did it. That's their secret. Okay, I think everyone's in. I'm just going to wait a second because it looks on my end like the stream's stuttering a bit. Yeah, we are back to normal. So let's run through the answers. Okay, so first up, we saw. Let's just give it a second to appear. So we saw the slashed to the belly button, kind of floaty green thing. That was worn by here we go. Jennifer Lopez. So if you've got J-Lo or Jennifer Lopez, both of those obviously accepted. Then after that, we saw Brittany and Justin, all decked out in denim. Yes, Canadian tuxedo, not a clue, just a slang term for wearing lots of denim. Okay, then Björk in the famous swan dress. What a legend. Then after that, we saw Jared Leto holding his own head. That's question 5. And then the other one that didn't end up loaded in was Kim Kardashian. So question 4 was Kim Kardashian. Question 5, Jared Leto. So we are going to have a look at the scores. As with the typing, all the typing in ones, scores always get double checked with these ones where you've typed in your answers, because as always, we don't want like a 1 letter off typo to take points away from people. So these are kind of provisional, and they will get double checked before we reveal the final scores after round 8. But let's take a provisional look at the scores after that round. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Kim Kardashian there. She somehow got, yeah, that may have been an error on my end because I think I made the image album. So, sorry about that, guys. But yes, Kim Kardashian, question 4, got disappeared. I guess it's kind of symmetrical that she got disappeared from both the question and the answer. But the scores after that, wow, what has happened with the Chapstags? I mean, obviously these scores will be double checked. And yeah, but the Chapstags have roared in to first place, 27 points. My friend is Preggers 26, Robin Lou 24. Oh, I think scores are being refreshed and updated. No, my friend is Preggers still in first place. The scores hadn't fully updated all the way. It's a live scoreboard, folks. So you got to expect these things to as the scores roll in. My friend is Preggers still holding onto the lead, but a much narrower lead. It is 28 points. Chapstag's had a perfect round. The right behind Hot on the Hills 27. Robin Lou and Alexandra Dumas / Dumas on 24. And then Caponte 22. Cat Flaps also tied with them on 22. Van Goghs and finally Moody's. Excellent work there, guys. And it's tightening up. It's getting close as we go towards the final stretch. So I like to see. My condolences to the team who were running away with it, but it's more exciting for me as a host when it's close going into the final stretch. Yeah, with the live updates, we're trying to figure out what happened to Kim Kardashian. All right, so we are going into round 7 now. There's order in the sport. Long-time players will have played around like this before. We give you sport-related stuff. You put it in order. In this week's edition, it's going to be in order chronologically by date. And because February is Black History Month, this is kind of it's all going to be kind of iconic moments from like Black American sporting history. So there are 5 dates there from earliest to latest. They are 1950, 1968, 1974, 1975, and 1988. And we'll have 5 events. You just match each event to one of those years. And it's 1 event per year. There's no doubling up on years. Just going to let you know that now. So the first one that you have to choose a year for is Hank Aaron breaks Babe Ruth's home run record. So the recently deceased Hank Aaron, RIP, what year did he break Babe Ruth's home run record? After that, we have Tommy Smith and John Carlos raise Black Power salutes during the Olympic medal ceremony. So, what year did that happen? Next up, question 3. Muhammad Ali defeats Joe Frazier in their final clash in the Thriller in Manila. Number 4. Doug Williams becomes the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And finally, number 5. Althea Gibson becomes the first tennis player to break the color barrier at the US National Championships. So that's the tournament that is now the US Open, or the predecessor to the US Open. So even if you don't know exactly when these things happened, there are some context clues in the questions that might help you out a little bit. But yeah, it's impossible to tell the story of any American sport without the contribution of Black athletes and coaches. But doing the research for this round, I think it stood out to me crazy how long sports stayed segregated. So like, especially with the Hank Aaron question, reading about baseball, And the Boston Red Sox didn't integrate until 13 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. So by that stage, the both the American and National Leagues, I think it was before they merged to form MLB, but like black players are represented at pretty much like the level that black people are represented in the population. Like most teams are fully integrated, and the Red Sox still were holding out. Fucking Boston, man. And football as well. So not to give too much away about one of the questions, but next week, Patrick Mahomes is going to defend his title as a reigning Super Bowl champ as only the third black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. All right, so let's get those answers in. Have a look at the scrolling headline stuff. We've got some famous birthdays. Happy birthday, Clark Gable. 120 today. I don't know who Laxton uses. Gabriel Batistuta. I remember FIFA 2000. He used to play with Fiorentina. Like James Bitch. What a day for famous births. Lisa Marie Presley and Harry Styles. Come on. Give some people to the other days. Oh, don't worry. You were only 1 point back, though, Champ Stags. So still very close. Still closing that gap. I think we could be in for an interesting final round. These ordering rounds, they can be pretty tricky because if you get one wrong, it can throw everything off. So it can really mix things up. So we like to put them near the end. I think we're just waiting on one team now, guys. It is in fact the Chap Stags. Now very meticulously selecting their answers now that they know that they were within striking distance. But let's get those answers in. Hope all our first-time quizzes having a good time this evening, and also all our regulars as well. We love and appreciate you very much. All right, come on, Chap Stags. We don't have all day here. Well, I mean, we're not going anywhere. All right, so I think everyone's in now. So I'm going to give the answers in chronological order. So first up, in 1950, Althea Gibson was the first Black American to play tennis for her country. Honestly, I expected tennis to be one of the most racist sports, but there you go. Oh, we have answer slides, so I'll give... okay, no, I'll just go through or not. Yeah, so Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record in 1974. Tommy Smith and John Carlos, that was at the Mexico City Olympics in 1968 that they gave that raised like outfit when they won gold and bronze. Then Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier just 1 year after Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record in 1975. Doug Williams became the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. This was the most recent one, 1988. Ironically enough, on a team that I will not say the name of on this stream because it's a racial slur. And yeah, Althea Gibson, we already said 1950. Okay, so those are your answers. Let's see how the scores stand going into the final round. Oh, my friend is Preggers. We're not taking that line down. They had a perfect round, which gives them a healthy lead, 33 points. That's a 4-point lead over Robin Liu on 29. Alexandra Das on 27, tied with the Chapstags. I feel like American sports probably not the best category for those guys. Caponte on 24, Cat Flats 22, the Vanguard's 21, and Moody's on 19. All right, so we've got one round left. Mathematically, it's pretty much the top 2 teams that can take it. So let's see who's going to come away with it, and let's see if we end up with a tiebreaker. I always enjoy a tiebreaker. And it's general knowledge. That cute little pup. And our first question in this round of general knowledge. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day. Groundhogs are about the same size as guinea pigs, house cats, beavers, or wombats. Question 2. What ancient warriors are buffets named after in Japanese restaurants? Is that... Oh, yeah, we'll check for spelling things and stuff like that. Spartans, gladiators, Vikings, or samurai? Next up, question 3. What unusual step have Chile and Argentina taken to strengthen their rival claims on areas of Antarctica? So have they granted citizenship to penguins? Have they sent pregnant women to give birth on the continent? Have they legally defined large icebergs as islands? Or have they given their permanent research stations mayors, members of parliament, and city taxes? So which of those unusual things have Chile and Argentina done to strengthen their claims on areas of Antarctica? All right, then what high-profile event is poet Amanda Gorman booked to perform at this month? You might remember Amanda Gorman from Joe Biden's inauguration. What high-profile event is she booked to perform at this month? Is it the Oscars, the Grammys, the Super Bowl, or a SpaceX launch? And our final question. According to App Annie, which app was the most time-consuming in 2020 by weekly hours spent per user? Was it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok? All right. So I'll do the questions one more time without anything on the screen and without the answers, just to run through them once more. So number one, what animal are groundhogs about the same size as? Number two, what ancient warriors are buffets named after in Japanese restaurants? Number three, what unusual step have Chile and Argentina taken to strengthen their claims on areas of Antarctica? Question four, what high-profile event is inauguration poet Amanda Gorman booked to perform at this month? And question five, according to App Annie, which app was the most time-consuming in 2020 by weekly hours spent per user? So we've double-checked some scores. Just going to make sure, well, everything will get double-checked before we do the final scores. All right, so depending on that, it might be more than two teams in the running, depending on how those adjustments shake out. Question one was, so you see four animals there as your options. What are groundhogs about the same size as? Which of those animals is about the same size as a groundhog? Yes, I figured. I've brought that to Jessica's attention just to check. We had similar, like on round two, which was also one of the drop-down ones. I think one of the other teams had a problem, I think, pressing twice. Okay, no, we did get it. Okay, they just hadn't been added to the scoreboard. So we had your scores, they just didn't make it onto the scoreboard. So it has been updated accordingly. All right, so get those answers for the last one in. A couple of teams had a couple of points that hadn't made their way onto the scoreboard that have been updated, so it should be a bit closer than it looked going into this round. I think there could be actually 3 or 4 teams in the running, depending on how everyone does. All right, so everyone is in. Fantastic. Let's run through the answers. So first up, groundhogs and house cats are both around 4 kilos with 40 centimeter long bodies. So we're not including the cat's tail. Wombats, I want to say notably of that round, are surprisingly huge. They're like 1 meter long. They were like 35 kilos, about 80 pounds. They're massive. All right, then question 2. We had buffets. So buffets are known as Vikings in Japan, apparently because the chef who brought them to the country was introduced to the style of dining in Sweden, but worried that Japanese diners would have trouble pronouncing smorgasbord. Smorgasbord? I don't know. I can't pronounce that word. Smorgasbord. All right. Question 3 was Chile and Argentina. So in order to reinforce their territorial claims, both Chile and Argentina have sent pregnant women to Antarctica to have Chilean and Argentinian citizens born on Antarctic soil or ice, as the case may be. Although I do hope they start giving penguins cute little penguin passports. Then question 4, Amanda Gorman's next high-profile performance will be before kickoff at the Super Bowl. So although both the Grammys and Oscars normally take place around this time of year, They've been delayed until the spring due to COVID. No such delay for the Super Bowl. And finally, last question of the evening. The most time-consuming app for users this year was TikTok, with hashtag SnailTalk. That's TikTok's about snails, getting 24.3 million views alone. Okay, so let's see how everyone did in that one. These are our final scores rolling in. My friend is Preggers. Well done, guys. Consistently strong throughout the night. Got very close there after round 6, but they have taken it home. 36 points, 4 points above Rob and Lou on second place. The Chapstags missing out on silver by 1 point with 31 points. But congratulations to our bronze, silver, and gold medal finishers. Just missing out on the podium was Alexandra Damas, which pretty impressive after a pretty rough start to the night. And then newcomers Kapan Tay in 5th place with 26 points. And after that, the Van Goghs, Cat Flaps, and Moody's. So thank you everyone for playing. Great job. Well done to everyone who got a single point. You all did great tonight. But especially good job to my friend is Preggers double celebrations for your pregnant friends and for your victory this evening. Congratulations, guys. So thanks for coming tonight. It's been fun as always. Hope you all had a good one. And cheers once more. I'm gonna finish my second beer and maybe have a little French cider to continue celebrating the end of Dry Jan. Thank you all for coming, and see you all again next week. Newcomers, hope to see you back here in the future. Always great to see new faces. Well, I don't see your faces, but I can feel your faces in spirit. All right, and yeah, hope you had a good one, and enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of your February. All right, bye.